Doing.
I'm well. So, considering the times.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to start with what I always ask. What is your intention for the session? You don't have to have the same intentions. You can want different things.
Mm-hmm.
If you could fix, heal, transform, repair anything, what would it be?
Mm-hmm. I would say, I would say, probably peace of mind.
Peace of mind. Good call. Thank you, Don. Anything else for you?
That's about it.
Okay. How about you, Patricia? What's your goal for the session?
My intention for this session is to reconnect with myself and my husband. And if I could fix, heal, or transform anything, it would be just continue to work on and heal whatever emotional baggage I may still be hanging on to.
Okay. Okay, great. Emotional baggage from your relationship, from your past, or maybe both?
Both.
Great.
Yeah.
Good intention. Okay, great. Before we start on these goals, I really wanted to check in with you both, and especially Don, but this affects both of you, on how you're doing because of our times,
Mm-hmm.
because of this moment in time. We have a massive pandemic going on, and we have Black Lives Matters movement going on, and things continue to happen with the various police departments all over the US and Black people. And how is it hitting you? And also I wanted you to touch on what happened to your football career, because I got to hear in deep detail in our last session when the cameras weren't on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'd love for you to talk about that a little more. I think it's all tied together.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, in regards to the whole Black Lives Matter, the pandemic, everything that's going on right now, being a black man, it's really difficult to see what's going on in our nation with equality, with racism. Seeing people that that you grew up with, or in the high school with, they post certain things. Now you looking at them funny, like you think like that. Then,
Oh, and they're white?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So a lot of people starting to see a lot of people's true colors, and it's devastating. Just like as of yesterday with Breonna Taylor, they didn't charge the officers for killing her. They charged endangerment of the neighbor's wall. So it's like, when is it gonna change? Does it give me hope? It's like, I've been spinning out wheels doing the same thing for years and years and years. But I definitely like with the NBA, what the NBA is doing. Like a lot of more voices are being heard. I really think it's slowly starting to move in the right direction. Just have to give it time, and that's just how I feel right now in regards to that matter. In regards to my football career, I mean, I tore my ACL like I was telling you last session, but as I was recovering, I kind of healed, and I went out to the bar that night. I got jumped by 7 security guards. Another guy had tore my meniscus in the same knee I was coming off surgery. So at that point, my agent had workouts, everything lined up for me, even with Bill Belichick, who I just met in person. He had me in the film room, me and him.
And these are white bouncers in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yes.
Which is a ritzy part. Any people watching this in other cities, Scottsdale.
Yeah, Scottsdale
is wealthy white.
It's wealthy. It's real wealthy white.
See?
And if you're a black man, you come in there, you spending money. They like, what are you doing? Who is this? They feel a certain type of way.
Yep.
For whatever reason, they feel a certain type of way, and that's kind of how it played out. We bought a couple of tables, and for whatever reason, the bouncer kind of got on a power trip, and they pushed me and they ended up jumping me at the club, and
And you were even trying to tell them who you were, right?
Yeah, because I
I'm
knew
a football player.
Yeah, because I've been in here. I was inside the bar a few times before we went to the VIP line. Dapped the guy up, several times, and I decided to step out by myself. Maybe a couple hours later, now as I was entering, more people had got there. Then it's like he tried to do like a power trip in regards to no, you can't go in. I'm like, well, I just bought a couple tables in the inside. Like, what do you mean I can't go in? So we had our disagreements. Then he eventually like pushed me over the ledge, and at that point I'm getting jumped by 7 white security guards, and I'm coming off knee surgery. This happened. I just got medically cleared from the 49ers on that Friday, and I get jumped on Sunday, and they tore my meniscus up. So at that point, I'm not able to go to that workout that was waiting on me with Bill Belichick. I'm not able to.
And they even did that. They twisted your leg on purpose because you said,
yeah.
I'm Don Bogan from the San Francisco 49ers. I am just healing from a knee surgery. Please be careful.
Yeah,
and then one guy said, I want to make sure you never play again.
Yeah, they didn't. I wasn't like, I'm done from the 49ers. They just knew like we played football, and they just know that from how we look, and they just knew we played football. And that's why when the guy was on the ground, like he was like, I bet you don't play football again. That's he tore my meniscus. And like I said, I wasn't able to. My coach from college, Coach McGagan, which you see him on this show, Hard Knocks right now. They're showing on HBO. That was that's my coach in college. He was he got the receiver coach job at the Dolphins, so they was gonna bring me in to just work me out. Like, man, I'm available. I'm healed now, but I wasn't able to attend these workouts because I just got jumped. And then I tore my meniscus up. Now I'm hurt again. Now I'm a rookie. But I had a serious injury my first year. Was out the whole year. Now, like, wait, you hurt again? How? So now it's like now it's 2 years. So now it's like then in the NFL, like, okay, you're a rookie with no film and you've been hurt 2 years. Like, it's hard to get a shot at that point. And I'm just getting arrested, slandering my name in the media, going through the whole just the process in regards to just suing this place. It took a couple years. Then it finally get down to like a couple years later, we finally had a deposition. We were, okay, I'm going in $10 million because I know how much I lost in regards to my career because I know the talent. Like I lost money because I wasn't playing. Yeah. So I went in $10 million.
And you were one of the top players.
Yeah, I went in $10 million. That was my asking price over it because me not playing. Which that was still low. I definitely think I could have made more money than that over my career. But that happened, and we in the deposition room. Told them their people was in there. They came out and said 75,000. I'm like, 75,000. My lawyer was talking to me and said, you gotta understand. And we did have a video from the night from the bar, but the video, how you see it is you see my you kind of see me, you see us arguing back and forth. You don't know what's going on because I'm mad because I can't get back in. So, of course, I'm upset. So we just arguing back and forth. And my lawyer was saying, and also the deposition guy was like, you got to understand that being in Arizona is going to be a white judge. The majority of the jury is going to be white. Right. So they see you
a black man
arguing with a black man being aggressive and like, they could say it's your fault, and at that point they say it's your fault. You could be in the hole of $250,000 in debt. So either you
got legal fees and you lose.
You got all that. So then we could continue going, but try to trial, but just know even though the people that your witnesses, you have to keep in contact with them because you're gonna need them. It's like that could be another 2 years. It's like, and I was having a hard time keeping up with people. It's been 3 years, so I'm like, man, it's gonna be another 2, like it's 5 years, and
people have to be willing to go in and speak up for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So they basically talked you out of pursuing it, and also at that point you were desperate to have it over and behind you and get some money.
Yes, because at the time I was broke. I didn't have a lot of money. It was been drug out like years. I'm not out of football. I'm like my life. I'm kind of confused. I don't know what's going on. I know I need money right now. So of course, like I had to take it. It sucked, but I just had to take it. Like, man, I just can't keep putting myself through this. Like. At the end of the day, like maybe just I'm meant for this situation to happen like this for me to learn from it and grow and just.
But when I think about how different that might have gone had you been a white man, possibly, probably, I'm just guessing, none of that would have happened. I know you. I know you're not the kind of guy that would show up drunk,
right,
3 sheets to the wind, and belligerent and, you know, antagonizing. You had bought tables inside with your friends that you had already been at, left for a while, came back. So you had every right to want to go back in.
Yeah, exactly. Just
for the tables that you bought.
Yeah, but
I think about how it would have gone differently had you been white, or had that been in another city,
right.
Not such a white town, a wealthy white town.
Oh yeah, if I was
Scottsdale.
If I was in any other city, I definitely would have. I would have had definitely would have won the lawsuit. Like, that wouldn't have been no issue. And if I was a white person, we wouldn't have even been in this situation in the beginning.
Right.
No matter if you're in Scottsdale, especially when you're dealing with your own people, they're not gonna jump you and slander you in the news for what they won't do that.
Right.
But
so all of this affects. First of all, I know that just having your career stop suddenly from an injury or from aging out, that affects an athlete. It can be terribly depressing. And then to have an injury take you out suddenly, and then to be healing from it, and to have a big meeting lined up to go back to play, and then suddenly having that torn away from you.
Yeah,
it was like a double whammy.
Absolutely, because now you look at, like, first and foremost, like, I tear my ACL when I first get to the NFL. Never get injured ever. I tell my ACL, like, man, I'm out of football. Like, what? Like, it's weird. I've been playing since I was 6 years old at a high level. Like, I get injured right when I get to the NFL. Then get injured again. Now I'm out 2 years. So now it's like, now I'm out of football, just period. So now it's like, what am I going to do in my life? Mm-hmm. That's what, like, I'm known for football. Like, I was one.
It's your identity.
That's my identity. Mm-hmm. Like, my family back at home, like, it was just, you knew I was going to the NFL type day. So now I'm out here. I'm locked up, going through a divorce. My first cousin just killed himself. I know I can't go back to Thomasville, Georgia, just because it's home. That's why I feel comfortable. But I know that it's a small town, and I can't go there and get stuck. I gotta sit out here and just go through what I'm going through, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. I'm gonna go through, but, like, I know it'll make me a stronger person if I could just get through it, And that's kind of what it was. I just kept pushing. Life was hard. It was hard in every aspect of, like, trying to figure out what I want to do. Having the football title, and that's, like, at that point, like, I still was so caught up with football. I didn't want to, like, my ego wouldn't let me want to go to a regular job just because I'm a football player. Like, I feel like it was hard for me to go somewhere and, like, make minimum wage and start at the bottom. Like, I'm like,
wow.
I just made $250,000, like, being hurt. Like, I know my skills. Like, I can't, like, it was really difficult for me to just go into a job. So at that point, I'm starting a business, just trying to build on my own, which I struggled with. I found some success, but it wasn't sustainable. So it's kind of like I wasn't doing any good myself. I needed to be somewhat stable in the time I was in, but my ego wouldn't let me do that for so long. So I fought that for like 10 years just because I didn't want to be at a job. And so I'm like, you play football in the NFL, why are you in here with me? That actually happened before. Like, you've been in the NFL?
Oh my God.
You've been in the NFL? Like, why are you doing here?
I'll tell you, it's another layer of difficulty because as identified as a woman can get with her career, and women do get identified with their career, and it's perfectly okay. You know, you find something you're good at and you do it and you can make money at it. And for a man, there's additional, not just programming, but hardwired to innately want to support your family, your woman, and make money. So it's great that you were talking about it was an ego state. We do have ego states that make it hard for us to let things go.
Absolutely.
And but you saw both. Are you a spiritual person or are you more science minded?
More spiritual. And my thing is, like, just going through that time, like, I really struggle with not not being in the NFL, just how I was living my life. Like, okay, well, I was still wanting to be like be seen like I was in the NFL. So maybe, like after I kind of realized I was out of the league, but I still had some money. I've still got I had a little money. So maybe I shouldn't have got the townhome right there in Tempe, paying $2,600 a month. But I just wanted to look like I played football, just what I was supposed to have, and it just it drained me. It drained me from every
Keeping up
aspect.
appearances.
Basically trying to keep up with the Jones. Like, man, I'm not like it was hard. I had to realize like you're not in that situation anymore. You got to just deal with it. You can't keep spinning your wheels. You just you're not gonna get far.
Did you end up finding? And I'll ask you both this. I feel it's really important for people to find their passion and do that for your job. And it's really hard when you figure out your passion really young. And God put me on this earth to be a football player. And now I can't do that anymore. And to figure out, I think I was telling you in the last session that we weren't recording, that when I was really young, like seventh grade, I started playing basketball. And I literally thought, and I was on the boys basketball team at the Y. Yeah. And I was good. I was a guard. And because I was short, even then, I was still short. And then when I was 17, I got into a car crash and shattered my ankle. Oh, wow. And I thought my life was over because I wasn't going to be a basketball player anymore. But that was very different than what you were dealing with was you got to high levels. Did you find another thing that feels like your calling?
Yeah, I'm more so because I was so lost, like what I want to do in my life, like, supposed to play football, like, it was hard for me to go make minimum wage, start at the bottom. I did that a little bit, quit jobs, started a business with my buddy, started an internet marketing company, which it was pretty good. It was unstable in the fact that like I just got married and it wasn't guaranteed. I needed something more stable.
Patricia?
Yeah, I just got married to Patricia. I needed something more stable. Then I found my company and Emerge. My buddy kind of came in from San Diego. He just had moved out here because I met him through a friend of mine. And he played football for the Redskins, and he lived in San Diego. He just moved to Scottsdale. He was just raving about this job. He was so happy about the energy. And I was like, we kind of came from the same background. So I wanted like, what gets you like this? So I kind of, he was like, bro, this company like in regards to freight. I didn't know what freight was. Like, what do you mean freight? I don't know what freight. I never heard of it. He's like, it's freight. I'm like, so I decided to just give it a shot. Like I seen how the excitement that came from him. So I decided to just give it a shot. I went into an interview. One of the trainers said it was one of the best interviews they had. And it's been history since then. I feel like
how long have you been doing that?
Since January 19.
A little over a year now.
Yeah, going
almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. Almost 2 years.
And you enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's important.
I'm very good at it. Like I'm very good at it. Is it my calling in life? I can't. I don't know.
Don't know.
But
maybe that'll pop up. Because you know what I've noticed over the years? A man can do a job that might not necessarily be his calling, but if he's good at it, he feels good. He feels like a success. There's an expression I heard once. A man must do well to feel well. A woman must feel well to do well.
Yeah.
Amen.
And it's like, I'm good at it, and I'm making good money.
That's good.
Is it my calling? I don't know, but I'm good at what I do right now. Maybe
it'll pop up.
Exactly.
So thank you for sharing that. And I try not to cry because I don't want to mess up my makeup, but it makes me so mad every time I hear a story from a client or someone on NPR and the racism in the U.S. and in the world, but especially in the U.S. I'm ashamed of Americans who are behaving in racist manner. It's immature, it's wrong, it's unjust. America's supposed to be all about justice and fairness and inclusiveness, and it just makes me so mad. Oh. And I just hope that what's happening now, our times now, changes everything. And so let's ask everyone who's asking right now, which will hopefully, everybody who's watching right now, let's ask for the world to change.
Mm-hmm.
Let's ask for the world to change so that there's no more racism. Because it's unnecessary and it's wrong.
I think people need. I feel like people outside of like minorities, like for whatever reason, they think racism isn't real because they haven't really experienced it, and it'll cause you not to be as sensitive to the situation. You know, they don't. You know, they don't feel for Breonna Taylor. They don't get how
It's
people keep
ridiculous.
getting killed in the street for unarmed and like nothing's happened to these police officers or anything. Like it makes you feel definitely as an African American definitely less than, like in regards to like this time with my job. Like I'm like, I've been doing good, I've been number one, like why am I not in this position? I have times like, man, is it because of my skin color? You know, at times I'm gonna naturally think like that just because how this world has like being from South Georgia and just what I've seen in my entire life and like just how the nature of how people are. You know,
Right. It's like how women think. I just realized it becomes like a second nature to wonder. That's kind of in your background. Like if a woman is in a job and she's not getting the same promotions, she wonders, is this because I'm a woman?
Absolutely.
And also, if you're a woman, and same as if you're a person of color, they have to think about things like if a woman is going to go into a meeting, like I'm remembering I got put together with a film producer who was looking at my Jane Doe breast cancer documentary. And I somehow knew instinctively after our first meeting to always have somebody there. And he was a sexual predator.
Stop.
And whenever we were alone, I had to make sure I sat. The first time I met with him, I was sitting at that orange bench and he was sitting, and he kept on standing up and standing behind me. So his crotch was right here.
Ew.
Right here. Crotch right here. And I kept on standing up. Right? How ridiculous. How fucked up is that? I kept on standing up and like I'd move around the room, and I realized I have to sit with my back so he can't, and I had to sit a distance away so he can't get behind me. And then forever after, every time we had a meeting, I said, okay, well, my film editor is going to be there. No, I want to meet with you alone. Well, no, I don't think that's going to work. It has to be with my editor because he's going to be doing the work that we're talking about. No, he got so mad. He finally said, okay, I'm pulling the deal. I'm not interested in working with you.
Bye.
And I said, that's okay. Yeah, bye. Bye. So, one day something will happen with Jane Doe. So anyway, and thank you for sharing all that, Don.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not just at work in your history, it's at work in your daily round because you're a black man living in a society that, especially Arizona, is predominantly white, and Arizona's pretty right wing. So you're brave. So we got your back, I'll just tell you that. And Patricia, so this has to affect you both as a couple, and your mood is going to be affected by it, and you have to be there for each other. And you're probably not working right now because of the baby, right?
I'm working.
Are you a little bit?
Yeah, I'm trying to make myself cut back on hours.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that. So
yeah, you know how I worked from 4 to 2.
Yes.
And she worked from 3 to 11.
Yes. And last session I said you guys need to
change our schedules.
Yes, you need to change your schedule.
I am
more time together.
Yeah, absolutely. I told him I was like, I'd rather be broke than do this shit.
Yes.
Like it doesn't take much for me to be happy. I'd rather be broke.
But she say that, but she's just a work.
I've cut back.
Like she's a work. Like she can't stop. Like she always got to do something.
I've cut back.
Oh.
She's just like her mom. Like
do you have an addiction to busy?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I even find it coming up when I feel like my life has kind of taken a turn the past few years, and I like to enjoy things that I've never enjoyed before, like spending time outdoors, meditating, journaling, yoga, stuff like that. But I'll even find myself making my day busy, planning to do those relaxing things. I'm like, what the fuck?
Okay, so you guys are that's adorable.
Yeah.
So you guys are gonna do what we usually do toward the beginning, which is the formal brags and congrats, and that's how I like to hear how homework went and what you've been doing. That it will enhance the relationship, because I say your beloved relationship is like a plant, and if you don't give it sun and water and nutrients, it will start to wilt, and then you start to fight or disconnect. So do you remember how this goes? You turn toward each other. Either one of you can start, and one person says, I brag that and then you brag about whatever you did, homework or whatever, and the other person starts with your name. I formally congratulate you on, and then they repeat your brag and shake your hand. So who wants to go first?
I will. I brag that I wrote my letter and did my homework for the session.
Patricia, I congratulate you for writing your letter and doing your homework.
Do you formally congratulate me?
I formally congratulate you.
You remember that. That's good. Good. And you shook hands? Did you shake it? Good. Thank you, Patricia. Did you ever brag, Don? It could be anything. It could be talking stick. It could be how you're doing on your acts of amends.
Let me see.
It could even be something subtle, like you were going to criticize and instead you complimented, or maybe you were going to give Patricia a compliment and she didn't say thank you, and you caught her and said, "Hey, you're supposed to say thank you."
We definitely had that a couple times. Like,
wait a minute.
more so like just giving her a compliment. I'm like, and I look at him like, all right, now I remember our session. Say thank you.
Ooh, that's a good. Were you going to brag something else? You can brag that if you want to.
Yeah, I formally.
No.
I just started.
I brag that I.
Okay.
If you want to congratulate me again, go ahead.
I bragged that I don't know when it was. I told you how good you was looking, and you didn't like shun it off, and you said thank you. And,
well, you reminded me too.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, the brag is that you reminded her.
Yeah, the brag is like I reminded you to kind of say thank you because of our previous session we talked about that. So
we did.
No.
Dontavia, I formally congratulate you on reminding me to say thank you when you complimented me.
Awesome. Did anybody have cause to call for talking stick?
I remember I called for it one time. I got turned down.
And I did it, and then...
Yeah, that happened.
I did it. I started. I don't remember what happened. We didn't finish.
It kind of discouraged me once I got turned down. I was like, well, she feels I'm just not doing it.
Oh, yeah. The rule with talking stick is you have to say yes.
I know.
And if you're too mad to do it right, then you can say,
yeah, we forgot that
I can't do it right
part.
now, but I can do it later today at this o'clock, at this time. So, good brags. Any other brags that you have?
I have one that he could brag.
Oh, okay. Now, if you run out of brags for yourself, you can brag on the other person. So go right ahead.
Okay.
You're just going to say, Dawn, I formally congratulate you on.
Oh, okay.
And then you're going to say thank you or you're welcome.
Dawn, I formally congratulate you on coming to these sessions and showing up after your crazy long work weeks, especially this week.
And then you say thank you and shake hands.
Thank you.
Good. Did I ever make you guys take the talking stick vow?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. So that's a vow. That's your word.
I know. And you know what? I thought about that after, like days after.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh.
Okay, so we're going to do a mini round of 4 A's. Remember the 4 A's?
Yeah.
This is a mini round of it because we're going to talk about a whole lot of other stuff today. You get to acknowledge to Dawn, I broke my word. I broke my vow to use the talking stick whenever asked, and I deeply apologize. And what can I do to heal that broken vow?
Oh, okay.
Is that hard?
No. No, it's fine. So, Dawn, I broke my vow for not committing to the talking stick when you initiated it.
Good. That's the acknowledgement, the first A. The second A is the apology.
I am really, really sorry for breaking the vow and disappointing you and making you discouraged from trying again.
Good. And then the act of amends. What can I do to make it up to you?
What can I do to make it up to you?
Good. And then, Dawn, you get to think, what could Patricia do to heal this wound? It can be anything.
Yeah. Need feet rubs.
Oh my god.
Feet rubs. How many and starting when and
Oh
ending
no,
when?
don't do that.
The act of amends should match the size of the wound.
Yeah, like
This is the little baby wound.
this is,
You don't get to decide that for me. You guys are so funny.
I know.
but yes, I need a feet massage. We can do socks on.
Okay, I was like, we gotta have socks on.
I do socks on, but I need it 5 days straight.
Wait a minute.
5 days straight.
A minute each?
No, actually, 5 minutes per foot.
5 minutes per foot. So 10 minutes total.
Hmm.
That's pretty good. You are probably never going to turn down a talking stick again when Dawn invites you.
Yeah.
So that's really good. Hold on. We're not done with the 4As yet. I just wanted to do a tiny segue. Is the socks on because of a smelly feet issue?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's
I
just
have a really
years of football.
Oh, and your feet are like calloused or something?
Yeah, they just fucked up.
He just needs new feet.
Yeah.
He needs some new feet. Let's get you some new feet. The reason why I ask is because years and years ago, in my young 20s, I was married to this nice man, a building contractor, and I was young and didn't know how to communicate. And normally when he would come home from work, he was really good. He would leave his shoes outside, but in Arizona in 112 degrees, feet get super smelly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I wonder if this will work for you in a way. See if this might work for a hybrid on your active amends. So, Kelly was his name. Kelly would come in, and even though he left his shoes outside, his feet were still super, super stinky. And we would have a big argument as soon as he got home from work every night. And because he just wanted to sit down and relax and have a beer and watch the news. And I wanted him to go up and take a shower immediately. Mm-hmm. And it would turn into a big fight. Mm. And so one day I realized, and I don't know why I realized this, because I was really a dumb kid. And really, I was raised in a household where if someone had a disagreement, there was either screaming or not speaking. Mm-hmm. That is just how we communicated. And so that's what I grew up with. And that's what I did when I was younger before I learned how to communicate like an adult. One day when he came home, I said, you know what? I don't want to fight with you. So come here. And we had this long breakfast bar, and he was this long, tall guy. And I said, I want you to sit on the breakfast bar. I got the news on for you. I gave him his beer. I take off your socks, pull up your pant legs, put your feet into the sink. I filled the sink with warm, sudsy water, and with the dish soap, massaged his feet for about 10 minutes every day after he got home from work.
Man.
And now he's so happy, and we're not having a fight. Now I'm happy because his feet aren't stinky. And it was this amazing, brilliant solution to the fight that I was having every workday with my husband.
Sometimes you just gotta get out of our own way, right?
That's right. So I don't know if the gnarled feet need something, is a regular massage with lotion okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Because will that work with socks off, or does it need to be socks?
Oh, socks gonna be off. We don't get there. So we need to try that treatment like after work.
Because to love the man, you must love the feet. You have to love the whole man.
I love them when I don't have to look at them or touch them.
Well, you can close your eyes and put on the lotion.
Oh, Lord, okay.
Do it in the dark, or do it blindfolded.
Whatever it takes.
Okay, So, right. So now, Patricia, you're going to say, so the next step is Don has expressed the act of amends that he would like. And now you're going to do the last step, which is, well, the last two steps. You're going to agree to and restate the act of amends so that Don knows you got it the way he said it. And then you're going to ask forgiveness. That's the fourth A. Ask forgiveness.
Dontavia, I agree to massage each foot for 5 minutes for the next 5 days. Can you please forgive me after that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Awesome. And go get a hug.
Don't pat me like that.
That was good. Like a bat pat. Like a friend. Like
yeah.
That's awesome. How are you guys doing with, so you can handle, you know, how we do the 4 A's normally, and it's all in that video. If anybody needs to see the video, just it's on my website. It's formal, it's a little bit longer, but if you have a little thing that you feel like you can go zip through, just like you did, that'll take care of an outstanding wound. Now, what's so important about this, what you handled right now, is your word is your bond. And for beloveds, they can have a lot of little things, little tiny broken words. It's not that big a deal. I said I'd be there at 5, I'm there at 5:15. Not that big a deal. Those can pile up and they can start to affect your trust. Or maybe it's, I said I would pick up the milk on the way home and I just, I forgot. And it just makes your life a little bit harder because now you can't cook that thing that you wanted, that cake for your mother that you wanted to make. And so those things pile up. So your word, the more beloveds know they can trust each other to their word. If I say, can we please use talking stick? And you say yes. And I know you're going to say yes every time. Or I can't right now, I'm too angry. But let me blow off some steam and come and get me in an hour and then we'll do it.
Right.
Then you trust each other to be able to handle anything. Okay, good. So now we're going to go back to, good job on that. We're going to go back to your goals. Don said peace of mind, and Patricia, you said reconnect with yourself and with your relationship. And have you guys been doing bonding exercises? Remember that one? So I know that what came up last session was your work schedules, and you have a new baby, that's going to interfere with your connection. So
Absolutely.
Yes. Have you been doing bonding exercises, and have you adjusted the work schedule yet?
No, because we haven't adjusted the work schedule yet, because that is my priority after next week, because I've already had my schedule made. But I was actually thinking about after next week, I need to figure out what schedule for me is going to work in terms of like what I value. You know what I mean? Yeah. So once I can make those changes, then that's going to definitely be implemented. Because like I said, I mean, we just pass by each other. A lot of times when we come here, it's the first time we really see each other in the week. So it's like we don't see each other and then it's like, straight to therapy. Like, shit.
So week after next, your priority is going to be to change your schedule so that you two have more time together. And the bonding exercises, if ever you can get time to squeeze those in, that's that other video. If you need to see it, it's on my website.
Yeah.
The puppy dog greetings, spoons, bellies, eye gazing, pillow talk. Those connect you on so many levels.
I agree.
So the busy of the external world, we humans can get to the end of our life and look back and say, wow, I kind of missed it.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I was there for it, but I wasn't really there for it because I was trying to get that thing done so I could get on to the next thing. And that is, a hamster wheel life. So you don't want that.
No.
So the bonding exercises are a shortcut to connect you. Okay. And so I trust that you will get your work schedule handled.
Yes.
Okay. You executed the letter of confrontation to your dad, and That was what we talked about last session.
Mm-hmm.
That is anybody that you have abuse or neglect with. It could be parent or parents or someone else, a neighbor that's sexually assaulted. And it has 4 parts. Here's what you do. Dear Dad or Dad, you asshole. Because the first draft of the letter is as angry as you need it to be.
Mm-hmm.
First part, here's what you did. Second part, here's how it felt. Third part, here's how it has affected me as an adult. And fourth part, here's what I want from you now. And a letter of confrontation, I got the idea from a book called Toxic Parents by Susan Forward. And Susan Forward says, until an adult has stood up to, confronted their parents, they're not really an adult yet. Because most people are really scared to confront their parents. But those are just people. They're just people. But they hold all this power over us until we confront them. So, would you be willing, it's okay to say no, because this is, on camera. Would you be willing to read your letter?
Yeah, I would. I will.
Great. Okay.
I do have one quick thing I want to ask you after I read it.
Okay.
I have a hard time, not even a hard time, it's like I don't even know how to express anger towards my parents.
Was that not allowed when you were growing up?
No.
Not allowed.
And I think with my dad, it just like manifested as a lot of pain instead of anger. And then in the past 3 years, I've been working on it. And so when I wrote the letter, it's like I could feel there's some anger that comes through. But what's scary is I feel like if he triggers me sometimes, there's this rage
that comes out.
That comes out, and I'm like, holy shit, where did that come from?
Don is the safer person.
Yeah.
Don's safe. He's loving. He's present. So I see that happen with a lot of couples. So you can tell whenever you're wise and spiritual and self-observing person practicing self-mastery. When you're observing yourself and that anger lashes out at Don, you can have that objective observer part of you watching that can say to you, that is misplaced and really belongs to my father or someone else. And you can even say to Don, can you hold the space? Because I got my dad's face on you right now. And it doesn't mean you're going to scream at him. It just means you're acknowledging it.
Right.
And then, Don, you are holding the space, and she might say, I don't believe in people screaming at each other because sound effects matter. So yelling at someone, yelling is hitting with words. So he can hold the space while you turn away and just roar, or you can take a pillow and scream in the pillow, or you can pound the couch or the bed. And Don, you can know that. Do you get an idea?
Yeah, so I try, but it's like me screaming in a pillow or pounding. It's like I feel like that I can't. Like, it's like I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm almost too shy to do it, even though I know, like, I should do it.
Okay, so everybody grab a pillow right now.
Oh, stop.
Both of you, grab a pillow. Grab a pillow. Okay, this is not the first time. It's okay, we're going to help you. This is not the first time I've done this in a session. Because children, especially, are trained not to express emotions. It's not allowed. Anger is considered a bad emotion. But that's why there's like an entire chapter on anger in my parenting book. So,
and I definitely think my wife has some anger issues.
Yeah, so it's good to let it out. You gotta claim your Kali energy, your dark side. You know Kali, the goddess of birth and destruction?
No, but yeah.
There's so much beauty in her. She's the lead Dakini, the head consort of Shiva. I've studied a lot of different religions. And she's beautiful and black as pitch. And she's got the universe in her hair and a long red tongue for drinking blood. Remind me, I'll send you I have some really nice pictures of her. And a necklace of skulls and a belt of arms. And she's usually got, she always has a severed head with a little smile on its face. And she's got a scythe in the other hand, smiling because any man is happy to die into Kali. because she sees straight through to the truth. She speaks the truth. Sometimes she's roaring the truth. And you got this scythe in the other hand, and then this hand, for chopping off the heads. And this hand is in the mudra that means bestowal of boon. That means health, wealth, peace, serenity, joy, love, money. And then as terrifying as she is to see her fourth hand is in the mudra that means fear not. So as terrifying and beautiful as she is, she's so powerful. So there's this whole big thing in our culture especially that to lock it down, put your emotions on lock. Lock it up, box it up, put it away. Men are trained to be especially that way. Women are raised to be that way. White Western culture is, a bunch of us came from England, and they're very buttoned up, and we don't act that way. But now we're going to give you permission to scream it out, to let it out when either one of you is angry anytime. I want you to have, I say this a lot to families especially, I want you to have a new family motto: invite all emotions. Invite all emotions. So, Don, if Patricia starts to become enraged, you're just going to say, let it out, my goddess Kali. You don't have to say that, but you can say, let it out. Let it out. I'm right here. In fact, I'm going to scream with you. Let's scream. And you don't want to scare the baby, because if you didn't have a baby and if I didn't have a dog, we wouldn't be using pillows right now. We would just be screaming.
Oh my
Okay?
gosh.
So I'm going to count to 3. Everybody's going to take a really deep breath and scream as loud as you can into the pillow.
Why is this so hard for me?
You have to do it. Now you're going to do it. Now you're going to do it. Okay?
I feel like I don't got the energy to scream.
You feel like you don't have the energy to scream?
Thanks for being supportive.
But I'm going to try.
Well, let me ask you to think about this. This is what makes me feel like screaming, Don. When I hear that another cop has shot another black man or an innocent woman, or tasered or maced a protester fighting for their rights, or all the years of slavery and how much things have changed, but not enough, still not enough, how there's still white supremacists running around with their Confederate flags, which I just heard on NPR this morning is in place of a Nazi flag. Like, they want to use Nazi flags, but they know that to most average, everyday white supremacist Americans, the Nazi flag would be a turnoff. So they use a Confederate flag. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. It's because it's what they really want to do is put a Nazi Germany swastika.
Yeah, that's like, especially growing up in the South, like you see them Confederate flags.
Oh, in Georgia?
Yeah.
So could you scream about that?
Yeah, it's like I could. It's like I'm just so numb to it all. Like I'm just used to it.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's like I don't. I mean.
Okay, maybe not that.
I don't see people like, I don't know, like it ain't. We've been going through this same thing for like.
It's exhausting.
Like
it's
like I'm just.
I get it. Okay, hopeless does not give you energy. Okay,
Mm-mm.
Can you scream to support Patricia screaming?
Absolutely.
Okay, so.
Let's get it.
Everybody practice one first deep breath. Just take a deep breath right now. Deep breath. And this scream can be for all the little children who never had permission to get angry. They were beaten, they were silenced, they were raped, they were incested. Scream it out for all of them. If you can't scream it out for you, scream it out for all of them. Okay. So on the count of 3, big deep breath, put your face in the pillow and scream as loud and long as you can. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Short breath. Got it out though.
Ooh, that was good.
Oh, man.
How did that feel?
Oh, good.
It felt good?
Weird.
That's
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all caught right in there and backed up all the way to down here. And permission to be angry. Like when your little girl grows up big enough to throw some really genuine grade A tantrums, I want you to encourage it.
Yeah.
Because if you keep this stuff stuffed, you'll be one of those parents that says, calm down. That's, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Or you can have that candy bar after dinner. So knock it off.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're going to be the kind of parents that invite all emotions.
Yeah.
So that
Right.
any and all children you have will feel their emotions fluidly and they'll move on through.
Yeah, that's something very important because I feel like that's something I struggle with as an adult. In unlearning that is really hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it takes practice. It's just like weightlifting
Mm-hmm.
or any other thing that you have to do repeatedly to get strong in. It's just like you're learning another language.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you decided, I'm going to learn Italian, and I said, okay, here's an entire paragraph in Italian. Repeat that back to me.
Right.
You'd be like, that is going to take some practice.
Right.
So every now and then, especially if you see her getting angry or frustrated, you can say, you know what, let's practice the pillow screaming right now. And it's great to do it in a pillow because the baby can be in the next room and not be
Right.
startled.
That's true.
Okay,
I like
now, are you ready to read your letter?
I guess.
Okie dokie. We're just going to, pain and anger need a witness. If I've said that once, I've said it 10,000 times in the last 27 years that I've been a counselor.
Mm-hmm.
Pain and anger need a compassionate witness. So let us be that for you now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Romel, I literally just asked my mom 2 weeks ago what your name was. Thank God, so I can now actually write this letter I've been avoiding for a while now. I didn't even know how to start it because Dad felt inappropriate. I don't know much of what happened. I have no recollection except for one memory where I was being pulled away from you crying. I can still feel the trauma and pain from that moment. That memory came to me a couple years ago when I was drowning in my sadness of your absence. I don't even know if it really happened or I'm just desperate to find meaning in all this. I guess you just left. I guess when word was out, my stepdad wanted to adopt me. You had 30 days to claim me, and you didn't. That's it. That's all I know, really. Except for what little my mother talks about, which I take with a grain of salt because I can hear her anger when she speaks of you. Underneath her anger and disgust, I see her pain. So I try not to let her pain project onto me the way I should view you. You're a stranger, a complete stranger. Even when I tried to beg your mother and brother to help me connect with you 3 years ago, your mother verbally attacked me and blamed me. Your brother told me you weren't ready. Growing up, I never consciously missed you or even thought about you. As an adult, I can see how I unconsciously did. Finding myself in unhealthy relationships with unavoidable people who I thought needed me to fix them. See, that's how I defined love. I needed to know I was needed. Do you see how fucked up that is and how deceiving that is? Another part of it was that I never felt like I could talk about it. My mother would just flip a switch when I finally did bring it up to her 3 years ago. A switch that shocked me. It shocked me because I didn't realize how much we both were holding on to the history of you. Isn't that funny? You left us and abandoned us, but yet you're still very much still here. I didn't want to offend my stepdad for even letting him think I was curious about you. Although now I know I could never offend him because he's an angel to me. I guess to protect myself from the pain I felt from your absence, I stuffed it so deep inside of me. Maybe that's where my lupus came from. All that pain and sadness had to go somewhere. I think it turned on me, manifested into illness, severe insecurity, never feeling like I belong, or even worse, never feeling wanted. Because I don't know how to let myself feel that, because I can't bear being hurt like that again. As an adult, I struggle deeply with owning my worth, being confident in just who I am, and struggle deeply in trusting. I've abandoned myself so much because my entire life I've felt abandoned. From you physically and emotionally, from my mother emotionally. I feel such deep shame of myself because deep down I question, where do I belong? Did I just burden everyone around me? Did I take my mother's best years away because she got stuck with me? Are you that ashamed of me? I know this isn't all true, but I would be lying if I didn't say at my core I wonder these things. I feel so scared of my marriage. Like I can't even appreciate what God gave me as my beautiful, amazing husband, who has helped me heal in so many ways. Because of my fear, my pain, my suspicious mind, working relentlessly to try to protect me, but at the cost of letting love in. And if I can't let love in, what's the point of living? And now the pain comes from knowing in my soul I'm called to heal and do great things for others. I know I'm meant to be great, but I'm constantly doubting and resisting it. But now I can tell you, you have been my greatest teacher. The source of the pain you left me with is where I'm finding myself again. I finally stopped running away from it, and I found the truth. And the truth is, this whole time, I've forgotten the most important relationship of all, the relationship between me and God. And through my spirituality, I've now removed the walls I put up around the pain I've stuffed deep down. And as each wall comes down, more light enters my mind and my soul. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, your absence has been my greatest gift. Because I'm finding who I am, and I'm starting to understand what loving myself truly feels like. It's been one hell of a journey, and will continue to be. It's the hardest, scariest thing I've ever committed myself to, but I finally feel alive. What I want from you now is, if you have any shame, regret, or pain, I want you to release it. Release it because I love you. I know you have your trauma and demons, and I believe you've done the best you could. I want you to be 100% present with your wife and your daughters. I'm not expecting anything. And I'll hold space if you're ever ready. Life is too short to live in secrets or shame. The best thing you can do for me, what will heal us both, is to give the people who love us, all of us. Thank you. I am grateful. I may not know you, but I feel you. I hope you feel my love too. Let's be free.
That was a really good job. How do you feel about sending it to him or reading it to him?
I couldn't even do it if I wanted to.
Is he
I
dead?
have
Oh, you don't know where he is?
I know he's in Chicago, but his family won't give me any means to reach out to him because his kids don't know about me. So I'm sensing a lot of, I don't know. Yeah. Because I tried to reach out to him when we got married, because right after literally the next day after we got married, it was like the floodgates. Every emotion I ever suppressed came out.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
So do you know who his children are? Or, think about this. No pressure.
Yeah.
Think about finding out where he is and mailing that letter.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about it. Usually if there's a way, we can find a way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we have something general, like a name and a city, you can find the person.
Mm-hmm.
But think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And this happens a lot with rape victims too. They say there's so many years have gone by and I don't want to confront him because it'll disrupt his family, and, you know, fuck that. You have a right. Do you have any feeling like I don't want to rock their boat?
I say yeah, but I don't think out of it's like I just want peace at this point in my life. I don't know. There was a period when I tried to reach out that I felt that way strongly. I was like, we're gonna go to Chicago and like we're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna show up. But now, honestly, like I don't know. It's just kind of like.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it. Like, it still is a very sensitive subject to me, and I think it always will.
What may not always be.
I don't know.
If you get the message across.
Maybe.
But just think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Usually my clients who I'm working with on rape or incest from their childhood, it's very sensitive until they actually do the confrontation. So you don't have to, but just think about it.
Yeah.
A couple of other things, and I also want to make sure we have time for Don's peace of mind goal.
Mm-hmm.
You might already have this too, this idea, but the people that are our parents, they're two people who screwed and had a baby, and that doesn't make them a parent. That doesn't make them a mother or a father. And you can, and we all should, go out and find our soul moms and soul dads, and those are an older woman or women, older man or men, who are like a mother figure or a father figure to us. And that becomes our nurturing parents. So that's really important to do. Everybody needs to do that because we rarely have the exact kind of mother and father that we needed.
Right.
Other thing that you said in there that was so prophetic, and now it escaped me. It'll come back. So, the self-abandonment. When this happens when we have an absentee father, or we get dumped in a relationship and we feel rejected and like I'm somehow not good enough, not lovable. And you're right, that is a form of self-abandonment. It's what your inner dialogue is saying. It's your mean liar voices telling you that you're not worthy of love. So that's mean liar voices. So all of us, our two responsibilities regarding when we have parents that did not do their job well is to find our soul moms and dads and to make sure our mean liar voices are being told, shut up, stop picking on me, you have no power here, get out of my head. I'm lovable, I'm worthy, I'm a precious child of the universe. Okay? You have to, I call your brain a meat computer. That's just a meat computer, and it stores information and the things we decided as little children that I'm somehow not good enough and that's why dad left. That is a coping mechanism, a belief system, a false or mistaken belief system. And belief system, we can shorten that to our BS. So the BS says, I wasn't worthy and that's why dad left. And it affects us every day. And so it is our job to reprogram the meat brain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, you know what else? I have a YouTube video somewhere in my channel on forgiveness. I can't remember what it's called, but I'm sure if you search Jane Fendelman forgiveness, and I talk about how a lot of the spiritual teachings put forgiveness first. You just got to forgive because it's just hurting you. But I see people that got to forgiveness, but they're still in pain. They still have a sensitivity. If they talk about it. And I realized something when I was young. When I was young, and right around the time I decided I need to become a counselor, is when I developed this healing childhood trauma technique, this brief therapy technique that, if I haven't already sent it to you, just remind me. Mm-hmm. It's called Healing Childhood Trauma. It's on my website. Because I needed to heal a rape from when I was 12. I was raped when I was 12 and the guy was 16. And at first, and I talk about the stages. The first stage after a trauma is denial. And that's good because it helps us cope with it. Like if I realized when I was 12, I was raped and I can't tell mom because mom's a yeller and I might get yelled at. And then I just stuffed it and got off into drugs and alcohol for years until I was 30. And then it came out. I was broken out of denial. I was in a movie theater watching Thelma and Louise. Mm. And I started crying when which one I can't remember, stopped. I won't give it away in case anybody's going to see it. Stopped the guy from raping her girlfriend. Mm. I started crying tears of joy. And she shoots him. And I realized, wow, after the movie, I thought, wow, I love that movie. Wow, that's weird. I'm still crying. And then 2 weeks later, I thought, wow, this is really weird. I'm still crying. Mm. And then I found a counselor, and then we were talking about things, and she said, oh, you were raped. And I was like, what? No, I knew the boy. I just, I didn't really want to do it, and there was a big fight. Okay, she said, that's rape. And I was like, nah. And then it took me another few days, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was like, wow, I was raped. Oh, I was raped. And then I developed it. Then I found out that not a single counselor seems to know how to heal a trauma, a childhood trauma. They want to heal it by taking you back to the moment. That letter is the most I ever do with people in terms of taking them back to the moment. And that letter is usually specifically to get it out of your system and send it to them. So if you can't find them or don't want to, I understand. So in this technique that I developed, I would go into the scene as a warrior adult woman and beat the guy with a baseball bat. And that finally, I did that as many times as I needed to, and that turned, this is all on that CD too, so remind me to send it to you. That finally turned, that anger and rage, which is the second step. So first is denial. Then the second step is anger and rage.
I think I skipped over that.
You are having it a little bit, it's coming out with Don.
Yeah.
And so Don, you might even say, am I your father right now? Because if I am, let's go, let her rip. And then take a pillow and scream it out with Don as witness. So the second stage is anger and rage. And that's where you start learning how to set healthy boundaries and say, no, thank you. I deserve better. And then that turns into relaxing into your boundaries and owning your power. And that's when it starts to become less sensitive. And then you start receiving your gifts. That's the next stage. And as you're receiving your gifts, that's when you start realizing the step that you got. And it's okay to skip around in these steps. The step that you got that, oh, okay, that was a blessing. I mean, I say very clearly, that's a blessing that I got raped. I didn't become one of the greatest trauma therapists in Arizona in spite of him raping me. It was because of him raping me.
Right.
Not in spite, because. So then I forgave him. Then I really got my gifts, and it all started to feel really grounded in me. And then I started studying other teachings for expanded thinking and realized I started realizing he sacrificed his life for me to become a great therapist. He can never undo the fact that he's a therapist or that your dad's a bum who abandoned a kid. Mm-hmm. He can never undo that. That's what he did. Mm-hmm. He could come back and apologize and maybe undo that a little bit, fix some of that bad karma he accumulated. But my rapist I looked for him too. Turned out I was spelling his name wrong. And last month someone found him.
Oh, wow.
And said, here he is.
Wow.
On Facebook. And I sent him a message confronting him, reminding him what he did.
Wow.
And asking him to apologize to me and my family. Because it messed me up, and that messed up my relationship with my family. And then last week he died of coronavirus-related illnesses.
Shut up.
But first, I reached out to his family when I didn't hear back from him, family and friends. And one of them was very compassionate and said, I believe you. And two others said, don't contact us again or we're going to sue you. And I said, sue me for slander. I said, let's do that because I really want my day in court. Let's please do that. Please sue me. And then he died. But first he denied. He said he denied it.
Wow, that's crazy.
But it was okay because it was all over these I'm 61 now. I started that healing process when I was 30. Within the first few years I had it healed. It didn't feel sensitive to me anymore. But forgiveness can't be first, and I get that you've done a lot of healing work, but
I think I do have, I know I have anger. I just don't know. It's like I've never been able to express it, right?
Yes, so now you're coming out of denial and that rule that you can't express, and Don's going to help you. And it's not forgiveness is an okay part in the step. It's absolutely, that part wasn't hard. For me, that part wasn't hard. The higher step to forgiving the abuser or the neglector is not me forgiving him, but me asking him to forgive me. So it's not for me to forgive my rapist. That's already done. That was easy. It's for me to make sure that he knows, please forgive me for needing to have that experience with you for me to become exalted. I am exalted. I am lifted up. I have clients tell me, I'm so blessed. I have clients tell me practically every day how that helped me, this helped me, thank you for that. And it's all because of him. He wrecked his life. He'll always be the guy who raped a 12-year-old little girl. So and I would have, if he had gotten to the point, so there's steps, I offered to allow him to apologize to me. And if he said, I am sorry I did rape you, that was awful, can you forgive me? I would have said, yes, I already forgave you. Now, can you forgive me? Because I'm great because of you.
Yeah.
So you'll hear on the women, on the, I got my CDs mixed up. On the Healing Childhood Trauma CD, I explain everything in detail about that because that is a really hard concept. And when people have trauma or neglect, that's not a first step. That's a last step. Asking your abuser to forgive you, that's a last step thing. That is not anything that people do near the beginning. Okay? Very, very important thing. This is going to be the thing that you're going to tell your mean liar voices whenever they're telling you you're unworthy, you don't deserve, you're not lovable. We have to remember that our parents' inability to love, that's their deficiency, is no reflection whatsoever on whether or not you're lovable. That's just programming. It doesn't mean you're not lovable. And the more you look for your soul moms and soul dads, the more you'll realize that. And also the more Donna's going to keep on you about accepting a compliment because that's all tied together with that.
Oh, I know.
You know? So, okay, before we run it, that was great. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
That powerful letter, that's going to help people who see that and getting it out and getting the anger out.
Thank you.
Permission to feel all your feelings. So, Don, peace of mind, you said that was your intention for the session. What do you mean? Or in what area? Or how?
I would just say, I feel like I'm 1,000 miles per hour just trying to provide. I just go. And I'm just so fast paced. Like I need to slow down, like meditate. Like when I do things, I'm at such fast pace, just like with the industry I'm in, I'm just so like always on go, always on 10. And I like just certain things I just forget. in regards to my marriage, like certain things I just completely just forget. I'm just so like just going, not really stopping and just kind of just being still. And by not doing it, I forget a lot of things. I just
And then does she get mad that you forgot something?
oh, absolutely.
But I have been trying to ask nicely.
Yeah.
We did the instead of I hate when you always
Yeah.
and you never, you're doing the I love you.
I do until it's like the 5th time.
Oh, okay, got
And
it.
then I get fed up.
Yes.
And yeah, so I just want to be able to have a peace of mind and just somehow just slow down a little bit.
Okay. So what you're talking about is self-mastery and choreographing your time so that some people live their lives of it as if time is your master and you are a servant to the clock. And then when people start thinking about exactly what you just mentioned, they start thinking about having time as your servant and you are the master of your time. And I knew this medicine woman, healer lady years ago, and I said, okay, my friend and I were visiting her, and we said, okay, we have to rush off now. We have a million things to do and not enough time to do it. And this woman said, and it was almost as if she was casting a spell on us. And she's this little woman, and she goes, you have all the time to do all the things you want to do.
Right.
You have all the time. And the whole rest of that day, when my friend and I were zipping around getting everything done, we kept on stopping and looking at each other and saying, we have all the time to do all the things we want to do. So there's a way to move through your day that is frantic and feels stressful. And you can move through your day at the same pace and feel inner peace, that self-mastery. So you can think of yourself like an ice skater. Ever watch the ice skating Olympics? Or professional ice skating? And it's like they're just floating through the rink. They're just sailing around. So it can be like this. Oh, gotta get this done. Gotta get the next thing done. And you're not present with it. There's a good book called Chop Wood, Carry Water, if you have time to read a book. Or you can think of it as, I'm just sailing through everything just the way I want to do it. And then with you guys adjusting your schedules and getting more present with each other, that's like a moment, a pocket of peace, right? Or playing with the baby.
Yeah, well, I definitely have when I come home from work, like, oh,
You
I'm
turn it
so
off.
stressed out, and I see my baby just,
And then it all goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do have time and you're doing your bonding exercises, does it go away then, or do you have my psychiatrist girlfriend calls it drunken monkeys on a field trip? Do you ever have that mind chatter?
It always like, in the back of my mind is always pressure of like just I have to provide for my family by any means. Like I'm always kind of like just
always wearing it on your head. Okay, so that is a stress hat.
It is.
That you have to take off. So when you're home, there's nothing really you can do about it. Like some guys get home, and women too, and they're on their phone with business messages. Do you come home and you turn it off? Do you need to have a rule that you have a certain amount of time?
I mean, we've had this discussion, I feel. I'm like, you don't know when to turn it off. And then it's like, he'll turn it off and then try to connect. But it's like, at that point, I don't want to connect because you've been home for 2 hours and you've been on the phone or whatever. I just like have kind of accepted it is what it is. Okay.
So neither one of you likes how it feels.
Oh, no, I hate it because I'm like the opposite.
Yeah. So, Dawn, how do you feel? Would you agree to a rule or an agreement? Agreement's better than the word rule.
Right.
That when you get home, that you turn things off and you say hi to the baby and do the bonding exercises with Patricia?
Yeah.
You would?
I could do that. It's really because I get off for like 2:00 and it's really like I'm still wired until they leave the office at 5. I'm still like kind of in it.
It's like you can tell it's always in the back of his head.
Right.
But even prior to this job, that's just his like.
Men are like that. Okay, so we're gonna do a practice right now. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys a next level thing for the. So I think it was a couple of sessions ago, and I showed you how to do the I love when you instead of I hate when you always, and you never. Okay. Because she doesn't like when you're not present or when you forget a chore or something you were supposed to bring home. And you don't like how it feels when she sounds like a nagging fishwife. Okay, so we're going to fix that right now. All right, now I know it's hard to say I love when you're mad and fed up. So we're going to help you take that next level. And this might have a bigger impression on Dawn. Okay? So I want you to think of something. Oh, you know what? Let's use this, for example. You're going to say, I love when you turn everything off and connect with me when you get home. That's going to be the sentence. Okay? I love when you turn everything off and connect with me when you get home. Okay? Now, what you're going to do in a second is you're going to whisper that in Dawn's ear as softly as you can, in the softest whisper you possibly can. But first, you're going to do something else. So first, establish eye contact, please. Put your pillows away. Yep, nothing to hide behind. Very good. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Now, look into each other's eyes. You're not going to whisper it yet, but in just a second. Hold your eye contact. Now, what you're going to do, Patricia, is think about the last time you and Dawn made love, and it just blew your socks off. It was so good. Think about something he was doing. Can you think of something like that? Okay, good. Now, just have that memory in your mind. Good. And let that memory come down into your body, and now feel throughout your entire body how that felt when he was doing, or you guys were doing, whatever you were doing that was so wonderful last time you were in bed. Okay, got that strongly in your body? Now, you're going to wrap your arms around his neck and as softly as you can whisper in his ear, I love when you turn everything off and connect me with me when you get home.
That's just so much better. I got that when I got home. I can only imagine if I just got that.
That just activates your whole,
all
your whatever they are, ganglion nerves, or something like that.
Only if I got that.
You would turn everything else off.
Yeah, I would. It just felt good. It felt good. Like,
yes.
You know, my wife coming to me, she's calm, just like, it'll do it for me. It's like, it'll do it for me. Certain things that,
Okay, now we're going to reverse. Now, Dawn, unless you want to use some other sentence, I'm thinking you're going to whisper in her ear, I love when you say things to me softly instead of nagging. I love when you say things like that from your strong feminine. And so first, Dawn, you're going to look into her eyes, and now you're going to look at her, and now you're going to think about last time you guys were doing something in bed, making love, having sex, and something was going on. She was doing something that was just amazing. And you got it. Let it ripple down into your body. Let that memory really activate you head to toe. And as soon as you got it strongly, you're going to whisper softly into her ear something that you would love that she would do. You guys look like you just came out of bed. How did that feel, Patricia?
It felt good. Yeah.
What was the sentence? Wait, was the sentence
not what you said?
Oh, okay. But it was something that you would like her to change for the better.
Yeah. I guess.
And Patricia, hearing Dawn say it like that, does it feel more like something you would want to do?
Yeah, I think also just in like the energy's different.
Yes.
You know, and like, that's all it is.
It's not a couple nagging
Yeah.
and fighting and resisting one another.
Mhm.
Okay, good. So it's great for you guys to remember you have each other. What a blessing that is.
Mhm.
There's a lot of single people running around the world fighting life all on their own. They got their little shield and their tiny little sword, and they're fighting the whole of the world. And there's even couples that are just not connected, and it's even worse.
Right.
To have a beloved. And since you can use each other to de-stress, you should.
Right.
And so as soon as your schedule gets changed around, you're going to be able to do more bonding exercises. When you start to feel that rage come up, Patricia, and it's our closest relationships that'll trigger any unresolved traumas from childhood. The closer you get to another person, the more the light of their love will shine on the obstacles that are in the way. Obstacles for love. Anything that blocks love. Things from our childhood, traumas, neglect, will be triggered by our mate. That means when that starts to come up, either one of you might even say, okay, I'm just really, I got my dad's face on you.
Mhm.
I'm just going to scream. Okay, I'm just going to scream.
Mhm.
When you're really, really mad, you don't have to try to use words. In fact, people shouldn't try to use words when they're really enraged, because they usually say something mean or something they don't mean.
Mhm.
So you can say, I got my dad's face on you right now.
Mhm.
That's one thing. You're going to watch your mean liar voices and tell them to shut up.
Okay.
Oh, this is another big thing. I have a YouTube video on this too if you want to hear more about it. The video is called The Worst Thing About Love.
Mhm.
The worst thing about love. The most horrible thing about love, it might be the most horrible thing about love, is the agreement to love is pain, because everyone leaves. They either walk away or they die. So when people have abandonment issues, it's just mean liar voices replaying that death over and over and over and over. And then one day they do die and you think, wow, I wasted all that time thinking about the death of, them walking away from me, and now here they are dead and I lost all that time. When you're present, especially when couples are like running that sensual energy, it makes you more present.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use each other for that. That's one of the wonderful things about the masculine feminine connection. So love will hurt. Everyone leaves. They either walk away or they die. Remember the mini hands-on healing?
Mm-hmm.
That is a really good thing for healing wounds. It can be a wound with each other where, you're just charging up your heart and you're breathing love into the other person's heart. By the way, you can do that with your baby girl when she gets old enough to have hurts about things.
Oh, yeah.
You put
Absolutely.
your hand right on. See, I'm breathing my love in there for you.
Mm-hmm.
Just breathe in my love. And that's very healing, because a beloved relationship includes all 4 kinds of Plato's love. So I'll just tell you this briefly and then we'll close. And if you want to hear more about this is actually on the video I think I sent you called Enlightened Jealousy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Plato's 4 kinds of love. To stabilize beloved love, you have to have all 4 kinds of Plato's, because beloved love has an erratic emotional swing that includes jealousy. So if there's passion, chemistry, you're going to have jealousy. That's normal and that's okay. So to stabilize it, you have unconditional love, which is equal love for all people. It means you love everyone unconditionally. You have to practice that total acceptance. You also are going to practice friendship love, which is philia love. Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, was named after philia love. You have to have fun, like friends do. Mm-hmm. If you realize at some point in your life you're not having fun, make sure you stop and go have fun. Then one down from that is pia love. That's parent-child love. You have parent-child love for each other in the nurturing way, where you're healing one another. So one of you might realize, I have my dad's face on you, you have your mom or your sister's or your ex-wife's face on me. Come here, let me heal that. What do you need to hear from me? Tell me what you need to hear me say. you can actually follow the steps that are in that Enlightened Jealousy video.
Mm-hmm.
And the last kind of love is eros love, erotic love, beloved love, which has its roots in lust and possession. So that's why all the Valentine candies say, be mine, I'm yours. I'm not sharing you with anybody.
Right.
So to stabilize that erratic pendulum swing of eros love, you have to practice unconditional agape, philia, friendship love, pia, nurturing, healing love, and eros love. So the one that you're talking about when you start to rage at him, what's needed there is the pia love, the nurturing parent-child love. It requires compassion. And you're so good at that, Don.
Mm-hmm.
You're so loving.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are doing great.
Thank you.
So can you tell me in one or two sentences what was your favorite thing from the session?
You go first.
I'm screaming in the pillow.
Screaming in the pillow was your favorite thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you, Patricia.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
My I would say my favorite part was probably just expressing myself in regards to what I've been through in regards to football. That's kind of when I talk about it, feels good. Like even though it's a messed up situation, but it's like therapeutic when I talk about it and kind of like share what I've been through with people. For people to kind of get a better understanding of myself.
Yeah.
So that's why I enjoyed
Get
that.
it out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to say the sexy whisper, but that was good too. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My honor and my pleasure.
Oh, man.